agribusiness.
Dog breeding is the practice of mating selected dogs with the intent to maintain or produce specific qualities and characteristics. Breeding relies on the science of genetics, so the breeder with knowledge of canine genetics, health, and the intended use for the dogs attempts to breed suitable dogs. In today's episode of Small Scale Farmer, we go to the Picture Square area of Kangemi on Thiongo Road, where we meet Chege Kiuna, a pure black shepherd dog breeder with 13 pure breeds at his home. The path for Kiuna to start dog breeding arose from a concern over his home security. He takes us back to 1984 when he first encountered a robbery that prompted him to desire to keep a dog to keep intruders out.
My name is Chege Kiuna. Our enterprise is called the Kiuna Dogs, and we have been breeding German Shepherds from 1984. We have concentrated on German Shepherd dogs mainly because of the chief characteristics. They are good dogs to live with. They are good guard dogs. Indeed, they are the best guard dogs in the world, preferred by all security agencies. So that is why we do it. As I was growing up, I was not a very keen dog person. But in 1984, when I had been working for some years, thugs attempted to enter my house. And though they were thwarted by neighbors who came to assist us, at that time I decided that I needed to enhance my security, and I consequently looked for dogs which I felt could do the guard work that I needed done. And after doing my research, I zeroed down to German Shepherd dogs.
Starting the dog breeding business was not something that Kiuna had projected. At first, it was simply a project for his home security as he pursued his profession in teaching at the Kabete Technical Training Institute. As the dogs he bought to guard his home matured, mated, and had puppies of their own, people started reaching out to him to buy the German Shepherd dogs to guard their own homes or help in breeding their own dogs.
My starting point was because of my own security, but fortunately for me, I had bought or acquired a male and a female, and when they got puppies, because naturally they would, when they got puppies, my friends started asking me whether I could give them some. I gave out some, but I was told that I shouldn't be giving dogs out for free because of professional reasons, and that I should be selling them. And from that time I decided to sell the remaining ones that I had and any others which came after that. So it was not a decision that I had made by the time I acquired my dogs. It is a decision that came as a result of advice by other dog breeders. I didn't make a decision to make an investment as business because from the two dogs that I had previously bought, I sold the puppies which came, of course following the regulations of the East Africa Kennel Club. And from the savings that I got, I put back that money into buying more dogs. So the current breed of dogs I have, of course, are quite expensive. I have imported some of them, but I have imported all of them from the money generated by through selling the puppies that I got as a result of my undertaking.
The German Shepherds are broadly categorized into two, working lines and show lines.
The two main categories of German Shepherds are the purposes for which the dogs are kept. The one that is widely known is the working line German Shepherd dog. This is more known because of the use to which it is put by security people, the police, security farms. They all mainly use German Shepherd dogs, and that is the aspect of the German Shepherd that is known. The other category of German Shepherd dog is the shoreline German Shepherd dog. The shoreline German Shepherd dog is mainly, and it's known primarily by people who are interested in the beauty of the dog. Now, the beauty of the German Shepherd comes in very many ways. They are intelligent looking look, their shape, their color, and all those things come into the shoreline German Shepherd dog. The other category of German Shepherd dog is the working line German Shepherd dog, which is primarily bred because of its capacity for doing security work, guard work, and herding livestock in the countries where herding is done using dogs. The genetics of the dogs are the same. It's the same dog, which is then bred either for showing because of beauty or bred for working because of its working capacity. That is where the difference is. But through a long period of breeding, the shoreline dogs have developed their own separate characteristic, that of having the steep incline from the head to the headquarters. Those are the shoreline dogs. The working dogs are bred with an incline that is not so steep. They are elevated at the back mainly because they are required to walk long distances, which shoreline dogs are not able to do. They are expected to do a lot of running, which working lines are not expected to do. But to a layman, somebody who just sees a dog, even very many dog breeders, they will not be able to know the difference between the two. But the chief difference is that a working German Shepherd dog is a dog that is courageous, a dog that will not scare easily, while the other one is being bred mainly because of its beauty. The role of security and fighting capacity takes a secondary position.
The shoreline will be picked for its beauty, while the working line will be picked for its unwavering confidence, as well as the ability to listen and follow commands from its breeder.
What people should look for in a German Shepherd. Now, it depends very much on the driving force to acquiring a dog. There are people who live in places which are very secure, where they are not threatened in any way. All they want is a good, beautiful, intelligent-looking dog which can become a good family member of the family. Those ones look for different characteristics from the people who feel threatened. If somebody feels threatened, beauty doesn't count for very much. What they want is a dog that is going to guard them. Which brings me to another point, that very many people, when they come looking for a guard dog, they come looking for a killer dog, a dog that is going to kill people who intrude into their compounds, which is a mistake. Somebody should not be looking for a killer dog or a curly, as some of them say, curly dog. What you need is, or what somebody should have, somebody who is threatened, what they need is a dog that is protective, not a dog that is aggressive. An aggressive dog is not a good security dog because it has to be in the company of a handler all the time. Either you lock it up or there's somebody holding on to the dog all the time because of its aggressive nature. And when there's nobody to hold on to the dog, then you lock it up. And when you lock it up, then it is not providing you with the security. So a good protective dog which is confident is what people need to have as their security dogs. So that is now in terms of behavior. In terms of beauty, of course, beauty, that is the color, pigmentation, the croup, the position of the ears. All those are things which are in the eye of the beholder. Somebody will see a black and tan dog, the very common ones, and think that they are very beautiful dogs. That is what they would like to have. Others will see black ones and say that is the dog they would like to have.
The selection that Kiuna has specialized in his 34 years of experience is the working lines. The working lines of a German Shepherd dog are further broken down into 3 more lines, that is the West Germany, East Germany, and the Czech. Kiuna believes that the best dogs must have the right personality and temperament first, looks coming second.
My line of specialization from the time I started has been security. I got into dogs because of security, and I have not moved from that purpose of breeding dogs for security, providing people with dogs which can give them good security.
There are many benefits that Kiuna has discovered when it comes to breeding the German Shepherd dog. Although popular for their fierceness, German Shepherds also make good companions.
If somebody is really interested in a dog and they own a dog, it provides them with companionship. And companionship in a dog from a dog is such that it is all pleasant. You never get offended or annoyed by your dog if your dog is well mannered. So companionship is one, and there are very many people who buy dogs because they want a companion. Then there is spending time with the dog and training your dog. It's a good occupation, not very demanding. It keeps someone doing all manner of exercises as you train your dog. So it gives somebody an active life instead of being laid back. Your dog will make you get involved in activities which are good for one's health. Then the other thing is getting to know people. I have met a very broad spectrum of people in my dog training life, because there are as many people who are interested in dogs. The very highest in the society and also the very lowest in the society, probably because of different reasons. The very highest probably because of companionship. They want to have a dog that is well behaved, so they call me to train their dogs, to give the dogs basic obedience so that they can have well behaved dogs. Then there are the middle class people who would want to have dogs so that they can be proud that they have a dog. Then there is the bottom cadre of people in the society who are interested in dogs because dogs are interesting animals and animals which are affordable, and they give somebody company, like I have said. So if my life in dogs has made me get involved or interact with all manner of people in the society.
Kiuna articulates that one of the key things any dog breeder needs to keep in mind is that the large dogs such as German Shepherd enjoy a space where they can move around freely to exercise their muscles. He adds that he continuously ups his creativity skills to keep the dogs occupied, as they have a large need for stimulation and are likely to get bored with ordinary, repetitive activities.
I didn't have the benefit of having to consider what my space or my environment. Like I have said, I got attacked by dogs at night, so I felt that I needed to have a dog immediately. So I went around looking for any dog that I could get. any dog. Now, when I got settled with a dog that didn't have any breed, they are called mongrels, I felt that I needed to have a dog with character, and that is when I started looking around for a dog that could provide me with security, and a dog that I could be proud of, and I concluded that a German Shepherd was the kind of dog that was good for me. So I went around looking for dogs, and very fortunately I was able to get dogs, brother and a sister to begin with, because the breeder who sold me those dogs didn't care very much about breeding. He just wanted to get rid of the dogs that he had. So he sold me a brother and a sister, which is something which still very many people do. People who breed in the wrong way, they will sell you a brother and a sister to go and live with, and of course they will have inbreeding, which is good for dogs, and produce poor quality dogs. So I didn't have the benefit of having to consider the kind of dog, the environment where I was living. I was more interested in a dog. The breed of dog one has is guided by where one lives. For somebody who lives in a flat, they could have a big dog like a German Shepherd or a bigger one, but they are also called upon, if they have such a big dog, to take the dog out for walks and exercises much more often than somebody who lives in a house with its own compound, where they can release their dog and let the dog run around. So the environment also plays a part. Those who live in flats are better suited to live with the small house dogs. But even those small house dogs require exercise, so they should also take those dogs out for walks.
German Shepherds are carnivorous, which means they require a higher content of proteins in their diet. This proteins is what provides them with the energy to keep them strong and healthy. Kiuna feeds his dogs with ready-made dry feeds, which he cooks ahead of the feedings.
Dogs is a very normal thing for many people because of the time that dogs have lived with human beings. They have lived with human beings for such a long time that they have, to a very large extent, adapted to living with the kind of food human beings eat. So most of the food that human beings eat is good food for the dogs, but one cannot raise a dog on the food that human beings eat. One needs to make a budget for his dog. You need to plan what kind of food you will be buying for your dog, what quantities to be buying for your dog, and basically the kind of food that your dog will require is proteins, just like human beings, which can come from any form of meat or even soya beans. Then there are carbohydrates, just like the ones which are used by human beings, ugali, rice, those are good for dogs. Then you need minerals and vitamins. There are special ones which are made for dogs, and they are made richer than the ones which are made for human beings. So basically with that you have your food for your dogs. Then there is also factory prepared food for dogs. Factory prepared food for dogs is very well balanced. There are brands which are very well prepared, and they are balanced and they are good for the dogs. Some are pre-cooked, so that all you need to do is to serve your dog and give your dog water. Other brands need cooking, So you prepare to cook your dog, and then you serve your dog when the food has cooled down to the right temperatures.
Breeding dogs is a rewarding yet a challenging experience. For Kiuna, he finds it very time-consuming, labor-intensive, and sometimes a heartbreaking endeavor. Kiuna expresses the better part of the breeding process is telling when the female dog is on heat.
A female dog has 3 stages of maturity. The first maturity is the reproductive maturity. Reproductive maturity can start off at the age of 8 months. That is when she can start coming on heat. But the regulations of the Kennel Club, who guide of East Africa Kennel Club, who guide breeding within East Africa and the neighboring countries, they say that you should not breed your dog until the dog has reached the age of 14 months. This is to make sure that the dog gets to the second category of maturity. That is the growing up of the dog, so that it can grow up to the right size for the breed. So those are 2 categories: the reproductive maturity and body-wise maturity, 8 months and 14 months. The other category of maturity is the mental maturity, where the dog matures to be able to know things and for it to be able to behave properly like a dog. This one comes again at the age of between 10 months to about 2 years. And that is why a dog should not be trained to do any kind of serious work until it has reached the age of at least 10 months.
Although in most cases mating comes naturally for dogs, there are some instances that they may need human intervention.
Female dogs' cycle, like we said, they could start at the age of 8 weeks. And the way to tell whether your female is on heat or not is there are 2 ways of going about it. And number 1 is the vulva swells, and you can tell whether it is swollen or not by just touching. The other way is by when it swells, it has some discharge, some blood discharge, which can fall on the ground, or if you touch the vulva, you are left with some spots of blood on your fingers. So that is how to tell whether your female dog is on heat. Now, to mate your dog, to get to mate your dog, or when she comes on heat, the heat lasts for 3 weeks. The first 7 days, she will attract males, but she will not allow them to mount her. The second 7 days, she will attract males, but any male that wants to mount her will generally mount her, except for some bitches who are selective. They will allow some males to mate and refuse to others to mate. The second week is when the dog, your bitch will normally get mated, and to mate, then you will need to select a dog that is suitable to her, so that you can get a dog which has the characteristics that you'd want to have. Now, mating a dog or a bitch sometimes is an easy thing. You just release the male and the female together, and they will do whatever needs to be done. But sometimes you need to help them because of various factors. Number 1, the bitch might be in its first cycle and will not get to know what needs to be done. Or the male could be the first time it is mating and might not know from which end to approach the bitch. So sometimes one needs to assist. But even with the older mature dogs, sometimes we need to assist so that we are certain that they have mated. According to the rules of the kennel club, one should sign that they have seen their dog, particularly the owners of dogs. They have seen their dogs mounting certain beaches, the beach that people want to have puppies from. Now, after that is done, then after the meeting has taken place, the period taken between mating and the puppies being born is 63 days. That is 9 weeks. So you count your 9 weeks and prepare for the beach where she is going to get her puppies. You give her good food so that she can have healthy big puppies when she gives them, so that she can have enough milk to feed the puppies, and generally keep her in a happy environment so that she doesn't get too excited to jump about and cause health problems which could come as a result of the intestines turning, or the puppies getting disoriented in the uterus. Once that is taken care of, one only needs to wait for 9 weeks to come to an end, and then spend the night with the bitch as she is getting her puppies, so that should she develop any problems, then you are able to help. Now, the kind of help that one would normally give is giving the dog water. If any puppies get stuck, which hasn't happened to any of my dogs, is to call a vet. Then the vet is going to help in assisting. If part of the puppy has come out, then one can gently pull the puppy out. But if it is still stuck inside, I do not think it would be wise for a layman to go into assisting. So when the puppy, the bitch is about to give birth, you get the telephone number of your vet and alert him that within the next 3 or 4 days you might need his help, so that you can call him if there is need.
A good breeding star dog is one that has the ability to produce puppies which are typical representatives of the breed when mated to several other female dogs. Kiuna shares some key details on selecting the right star dog for excellent breeding.
We do our breeding because of to provide dogs which are capable of doing security work. So to breed our dogs or to produce puppies, we want to produce dogs which are able to do security work and dogs which are easy to train. We therefore select a female who has the good capacity for doing security work, and also one who is able to train easily. We do that from a very early age, from the age of about 2 months, 3 months. We are able to pick on puppies which have that characteristic, and we select those ones for our goal in breeding. We do the same when we want to raise a male for our breeding. So that is what we do. Even when we go out to look for dogs to add to our breeding stock, we do the same. We make the dogs undergo several tests to determine which dogs are able to learn what we want to learn, and then we keep those ones. There are several ways of selecting the dogs that are capable of doing that. If you want to select a dog that is capable of doing protection work, you can make it go undergo certain tests. And if you want to get to know a dog that is quick to learn, again, there are some tests you can subject your dog to.
After this short break, we find out how to take care of a pregnant bitch and the puppies.